unique.
Senator McFedrin, to be followed by Senator Odette.
Thank you very much, and I will ask each of the panelists, witnesses to respond to this. But before I do, I just want to acknowledge the work, the dedication, the fact that you're here today, the tenacity that you all bring to this. And in particular, Adina Jan, I remember when you were taking money into Afghanistan under a burqa. And the situation is even worse now. Hard to believe that I'm saying those words 20 plus years later. My question to all of you, in all of your communications, in all of your meetings, is there one good reason that you've been given by the Government of Canada representatives, cabinet ministers, all the way through the system, one good reason why we're in this situation today, facing 6 million people on the brink of starvation, including more than 1 million children?
Maybe I can start. We've had a number of meetings, and what we repeatedly get told is that we understand that there's a problem, that there's an acknowledgement that there's a problem, and that they're working on it. As Mr. Fisher indicated, the solution is imminent, is what we keep hearing, and we've been hearing that for months. And so you asked Senator McFedrin at the other session about morality. At what point does the situation in Afghanistan, which is already unprecedented, needs to get worse before our government gets its act together and actually does something? As Mr. Fisher mentioned, this issue has been raised with the government since September of 2021. The special committee, the House committee, had extended studies, lots of witnesses provided evidence. There was a report that acknowledged the situation, the urgency. In June, there was a meeting we had with Minister of International Development at the end of June. We were told they're aware, they're going to do something. And we got the response from the government in October of 2022, agreeing to those recommendations. And here we are in December, and nothing has been done.
Yeah. And if I just add to what Ms. Faizi has said, I don't see any reasons could be justify in the starvation of the children. And at this moment when they are frozen to death without shelter, I don't find any justification for us to be limited in providing services to our orphanage, to the girls' orphanage who depend on our donations. And now we haven't paid the rent for the landlord, and the landlord, of course, is a generous person. They could throw us on the street, the kids, the girls, the young girls. So I don't think anything would justify this situation. And Michael, thank you for your comment, and thanks for your support for many years to us for standing beside us. Yes, during the period in 90s when Taliban were there, I could go with the burqa across the border. Now the Pakistan borders is closed. We cannot go. Like that time also, I just used to go at the burqa or something to enter Afghanistan. Now you cannot even go in person to Afghanistan to meet them, at least to arrange something for them locally in Afghanistan. So the barriers are worse than what it was before.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Fisher, would you like to add something to that?
Briefly, perhaps, Senator McFedrin. I think, and I can speak certainly for World Vision and other humanitarian organizations, there are controls in place that we all have put in place that prevent precisely and mitigate the risks that are laid out from funds doing things and supporting things and individuals that they're not supposed to support. And as Amy said, while we have operated in similarly challenging contexts where you perhaps bump up against these rules, we have not encountered a similar interpretation that has a chilling effect. And I think it's important to two things. Is registered charities have very clear financial reporting obligations to the CRA. We're not talking about unregistered charities being allowed to do these kind of activities that are specifically spelled out in various international and legal doctrines. And if you look at the larger and certainly medium-sized humanitarian organizations, the checks and balances that we have in place, from memoranda of understanding to very clear beneficiary lists to screenings to third-party screenings, the list goes on and on. We know how to do this, and we know how to mitigate risks. All we're asking is for the government to A, follow their talk, and B, to allow us to do things that we're doing in similar contexts as well. This is not new to us. The challenge is new, but the situation and the risk mitigation that we have in place is not new to us.
Thank you.